Can you get level 10 fishing in Stardew Valley without ever once actually casting your fishing line? I deleted the bamboo rod as soon as Big Willie gave it to me and set out on my mission. I must acknowledge reality, and the reality is I need 15,000 points of fishing experience. And fishing with your rod is the main and simplest way to get that experience, but it's not the only way. Fishing ponds give you experience when you complete their quests and when you collect their yield. So technically I could use this as a method by placing fish collected from beach foraging into some ponds. But it would be incredibly slow, mainly because these ponds are expensive to build, and the seaweed and green algae is a pain to get without using a fishing rod. That leaves crab pots. Crab pots grant 5 fishing experience every time you collect an item from them, and you can get 1 item daily. The thing is, you can't craft or buy bait to put in the crab pots until level 2 fishing, and you can't buy or craft the crab pots themselves until level 3 fishing. It's phase 2 and I am a man with a plan. Phase 2 part 1, befriend Linus. My boy Linus is a fan of all the spring forageables. He doesn't love them, but he likes them. As you level, your chance to collect silver and gold quality forageables increases, and higher quality gifts give more friendship points. So I chopped a fair few trees and made sure to collect every forageable to get a few levels, and I did most of my run around to collect forageables on Saturdays, as Sunday is the weekly forageable reset. I gave Linus his quota of 2 quality forageables per week, and also chatted to him every time I saw him, as just talking gives a cheeky 20 friendship points too. I also kept an eye out for a Linus quest on the community request board, as these give 150 friendship points, but he never posted one, so that was unhelpful. Regardless, before long I had reached my target of 4 friendship hearts, and I was rewarded with this emotional roller coaster of a cutscene. Initially I was warmed by both the campfire and Linus's friendly chatter, but soon I was invited into Linus's tent, and strange things were afoot. Phase 2 part 2, it's time to complete the crab pot bundle. This was actually pretty straightforward. I just had to complete the spring forageables bundle, which unlocked access to the fishing bundles. I then collected 4 of the crab pot items from beach foraging: the cockle, mussel, clam, and oyster. And I collected my 5th and final item, a crab, from the mines. I had to kill 6 or 7 of these rock crab fellas, but I got one pretty quick. And thus I was rewarded with 3 crab pots. As I said earlier, you can't buy or craft these until level 3 fishing, but the crab pot bundle comes in clutch. But I still need bait to put in the crab pots. Phase 2 part 3, collect materials for wild bait. Wild bait, you ask? Well, remember when Linus and I had our squelching session in his tent? That was him teaching me the recipe for wild bait. And lucky for me, wild bait works in crab pots. Thank you, Linus. Squelch again soon, my friend. To be precise, I need 380 fishing experience to reach level 2, at which point I can switch to the far easier to acquire regular old bait. I needed 76 wild bait to achieve this, so I needed to craft 80. This meant 160 fiber, 80 slime, and 80 bug meat. The fiber was straightforward. The slime and bug meat was straightforward too, but it took a while. I massacred bugs and slime by spam resetting level 5 and 15 of the mines. Once I was done, I crafted my 80 wild bait. Time to reach level 2 fishing. I only had 3 measly crab pots, so to reach level 2 fishing I had to sleep and collect 26 times. I initially had them in this little pond, but I soon asked Robin to put up a log cabin, nestled neatly between these 3 bodies of water down here. Sleeping here instead of my main house will make things much quicker every day. By the way, I had also been constantly clearing this half of the farm, as I don't want a giant overgrown mess to form. Also, I need the wood. You'll see why in a second. Soon enough, I reached level 2 fishing. This allowed me to buy a whole bunch of bait for 5 gold a pop from Big Willie. I'm gonna need another 2,000 or so later, but I figured a cheeky 800 would do for now. I also bought about 440 copper ore from Clint, as well as the coal needed to smelt it into bars. You may be thinking, where did I get all this money from? Well, during phase 2, I was doing more than just squelching with Linus. I also collected 400 clay using the clay farming method, a bunch of stuff from the mines while killing monsters, and a heck of a lot of forageables. The seasonal forageables I turned into wild seeds to sell, and these beach forageables, they were just way more profitable than I thought. And you may also be asking, why did I buy so much copper ore and coal? Well, when you reach level 5 fishing, you can choose the Trapper perk, which makes crab pots cost less to craft, changing the recipe from 3 iron bars and 40 wood to 2 copper bars and 25 wood. As long as you buy the copper ore and coal in year 1 before it gets more expensive, this costs 1,050 gold plus the wood to craft 1 crab pot, as opposed to 1,500 gold per crab pot bought directly from Big Willie. Next up, I must get to level 5 fishing. The problem is, until I get to level 5, I'm stuck with just the 3 crab pots. But it wasn't actually too bad. Level 5 may technically be halfway to level 10, but the reality is you only need to collect from crab pots 430 times to get there, whereas levels 5 to 10 is 2,570 crab pot collections. I labored away and made my way to level 3 fishing. By the time I'd gotten there, I'd actually accrued a bunch of gold just from the crab pot yield. Turns out periwinkles, crayfish, and snails really start to add up to some decent profit if you happen to go on a crab pot rampage like me. I decided to buy 3 crab pots from Willy at this point to help make the slog from level 3 to 5 a little less painful. And so I now had 6 crab pots. I was also smelting daily with my singular furnace, collecting my copper bars as I chipped away towards level 5. And then on summer 12 year 2, I hit level 5 and earned myself the Trapper perk. Finally, I could craft my crab pots. Well, most of them. I still had some more copper to smelt. I was able to craft 36 immediately. This brought me up to a total of 42 crab pots. I placed them all around my ponds, and I'd also placed some path tiles to make things slightly neater and quicker. Before long, I crafted my remaining 9 crab pots, bringing my total to 51, and I continued my grind. The plus side was 51 crab pots gets you 255 experience every day. The downside was tending to that many crab pots is monotonous and causes my eye to twitch, but I kept at it. Level 6 fishing, level 7 fishing, and shortly after hitting level 7 fishing, I ran out of bait, and so it was off to Big Willy's to buy more. Fortunately, I had made a heck of a lot of gold from all the crayfish, snails, and periwinkles, as well as some other stuff I'd found lying around, so I had more than enough gold. By this point, I'd collected items from crab pots about 1,000 times, and I still needed to do it another 2,000 times, so I bought over 2,000 bait and used my remaining gold to buy 15 more crab pots. I now had all the bait I needed and a total of 66 crab pots. So it was time to grind out the last 3 levels. Now, I'd spent about 4 hours to get level 7 fishing, including all the preparation, befriending Linus, and collecting resources. But level 7 to 10 was actually pretty quick. At 66 crab pots per day, I was now getting 330 experience each day. I chipped away at the 2,100 experience to get from level 7 to 8, the 3,100 experience to get from level 8 to 9, and the whopping 5,000 experience to get from level 9 to 10. That was 1,000 crab pots dedicated to the final level alone. And on winter 3rd, year 2, I was done. Levels 7 to 10 took me about 33 days in-game and half an hour in real time. I took the Mariner perk in celebration and knew a great sense of accomplishment deep in my heart. Level 10 fishing achieved without using the fishing rod at all. Nice. Check out these 77 Stardew Valley pro tips delivered in a neat 7-minute package. Cheers.